c'est dimanche après-midi, 18 b 2025. Émission, ça me connaît, son émission, ou après, mais en pile. Et en pile, monde qui toujours parlé, qui toujours aimé faire des interest rates là, mais nous pas parler d'interest rate, mais nous pas de problème. Si par exemple, ou besoin une question, ou besoin une question en bas d'interest rate, pas de problème. Pas de problème pour chercher ça avec. OK? Pas de problème pour chercher information en bas. Mais et pas nous, nous connaissons et pas nous ma nous ça chaque samedi soir. Chaque samedi soir, we start at 6 and after 6 o'clock, when we finish, we preach the gospel. Very important. The gospel that's very important for us. Samedi faut qu'on ait, nous, Walmart, c'est jump. Walmart, c'est 100, over 100% MAGA, républicain. Mais qu'on y a des gens qui ont divorcé qu'on y a là. Mais Walmart a demandé comment il dit bagay a monté ces tarifs là. Il dit parmi bagay la dit oh choukouyé l'envoyer. Choukouyé l'envoyer, il dit parmi ça parce que peut pas mettre quelque conditionné sur. Ça veut dire pour nowadays 30% tariff, that's a lot of money. Federal government get a massive now 100 days to get a massive almost $17 billion federal government. Us nous-mêmes qui payons, nous-mêmes taxés, nous-mêmes qui consommons. Bon, et pas sur ça, nous t'avons parlé. Et pas sur ça, nous avons. Ça, ma programme, si j'ai nous gagné, les building successful empire. C'est Jean m'a expliqué là, ou même pas qu'on soit qu'on ou comprendre, maybe you understand. When I'm talking the Empire State Building, I'm not talking about Empire in New York. Et gardez pour un contexte, je voulais expliquer là. Parce que l'ordre d'un bagage, gardez pour faut chercher, pour un cas d'un bagage, maintenant, Bible là, et c'est le genre contexte à mon dit. Ça veut dire, dans le contexte ça, on dit, pour, on prend pour build un successful empire. Ça veut dire, étant pour son business ou gain. Vous comprenez? Si vous faites un business, vous comprenez, vous connaissez qui bord et where that business will be located. Vous besoin connaître the place that business will be located. You have to do the research. Research is est-ce que c'est un côté ou café comme. Vous comprenez? This is the place you want to build it. You're going to make money. Check the community. Qui moun qui peut l'acheter? You must know about the law, what the law requires. Can you build a business maybe is not far from the street? No. If you build a business, maybe it's not close to the street, it's not too many people going to, to say. You build a business, maybe close to the street. When people pass by, you have advertising. You put the name of that business. When people price it, okay, maybe, I'm looking for, a software. I'm looking for a business, something, any business you're looking for. I'm looking for a notary. I'm looking for a doctor office. I'm seeking for a doctor office. I'm looking for a lawyer office. You're going to see that information, the name, no, address là, téléphone number. Si par exemple, you're going to pass by and you send the red light, you see that business, you won't have enough time to take that number. What you're going to do is take your phone, when you take that phone, after that, as soon you get it, when you get home now, you're going to take that phone, take that number, you call that business. But you have to know, okay, you have to know. But if you maybe what business, make sure you get a brand new stuff you're going to buy. If you're going to buy clothes, check. Maybe you have to spend for that. They spend something you think that neighborhood agreement. et ça yo aimé, gardez pour un qui kati. Si par exemple, songez bien, and remember, I said that I'm going to repeat myself again. Look, rich people buy in rich people. When you rich, you don't go to poor. You don't go maybe to Walmart. You know, you don't go to that place. You go to fancy place. Place you think you can spend money. Even though it's more expensive, that the way. Rich people buy in rich people. Poor people always go to Walmart, place like that cheap. They're the cheap place because you don't have enough money. You don't have a lot of money to go to fancy. Even though I remember like Macy's, now not anymore Macy's. You see Macy's in New York, take almost 20 so big in New York City now. That Macy's, when I used to live in New York City, I have to change it in Creole and English, okay? Because my people want to hear that. Lem te habite in New York. I used to go, from Brooklyn, I go to Manhattan, to uptown, to buy stuff. Cheap, like especially in December month. Big, nice, lovely people purchase. But now what I hear, that Macy's will be closed, will be shut down. I said, wow, that Macy's was there forever. It will be closed. Yeah, they used to sell a good stuff, expensive stuff, but not anymore. Not anymore. Okay, so this is depend. But if you're rich, if you even though you're not rich, if you have money, you tell me, well, you want to Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. People live in New York City. When I sit in Fifth Avenue, you know what I'm talking about. Fifth Avenue is not cheap. That something come from the clothes, come from New York. Bagay society on the work. When expensive stuff. But, if you don't have money, why you tell me you want to Fifth Avenue to buy something? Right? You can buy a suit in Fifth Avenue going to cost you about maybe 10 grand, 10,000, depend, 10,000, a shirt, right? Going to cost you maybe $250. Because that or more than that. Because you go to Fifth Avenue, that stuff they sell, that very expensive. So why I say that? M'explique leur pour business, gardez pour the area. Gardez pour qui va build. Where you going to build that business? Where you going to build that empire? Got to make money. You cannot tell me, okay, I used to live Arizona. I used to live New York. I know which place in New York is bad. It's not poor people say there. Arizona, same thing. You cannot tell me you're going to live in South Phoenix. You're going to build a business, a clothes shows. You're going to put that shows maybe $200, $300, $400. That one. You maybe a couple months will be closed. People in that area won't be able to afford it. To buy shoes, $300-$400 shoes. You understand what I mean? To buy a shirt about $150, right? You cannot, right? So therefore, you have to go where the class, the place, you think people can afford it. Like for example, like Walmart. A lot of people want to go to Walmart, right? Because they sell cheap. That's something people cannot understand. People can't comprendre ça. Walmart, China very smart. People think China is dumb. No, China is not dumb. Why? Listen, China build little stuff. United States build big. Let me give you one example for both of them. America build airplane, that build big stuff going to cost their $1 million, right? But those stuff for big people. You understand what I mean? It's not that for big people. Who can buy, maybe a jet? Who can buy a Bombardier jet, right? Because I used to work for Bombardier. one aircraft in Bombardier cost $60 million. Maybe I'm talking about 1986 or 2001. Now I believe it costs, but that's very fancy. But do you believe anyone can buy $60 million aircraft? No, that's the way America. But China smart. China sell stuff, cheap, not expensive. When they send them to United States, everybody crazy to buy them, right? Because people said, well, people said they're working for peanut. Yo travail pour peanut. Yo pas touche en pile. Yo pas qu'à aller un côté expensive pour y acheter un bagage. You understand what I mean? By the way, almost 90% stuff come from China. You cannot beat that. Right. So therefore, now what happened? When we see China and US about the tariff, everybody getting crazy. Everybody said, no, I want anything. I don't have money to buy stuff expensive. You understand what I mean? Very expensive. So that's why they want about China, even though the China, the president, two of them put, China put the tariff 10%, the federal government, Mr. Donald J. Trump.
Pastor Carlos, 619,280.
Oh, Pastor Carlos, get on Larry. Eh? Did you hear me? You guys with me? Oh, okay. Okay, not then come in. Okay. 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 Pas de problem. Yeah. Okay, bye. Yeah. So that's the way. Walmart sell cheap, therefore everybody 95% stuff come from China. People don't want the United States, they don't want to buy something expensive. Right? They depend on China. Even though Mr. Trump said he wants stuff come from China to build in US. This is a good thing. This is a good thing, that a bad thing. Something come from Canada to build here. This is a good thing. To build the empire, United States, this is a good thing. But that's something I want everybody to understand. Maybe we have life, let me explain life. Life, les ou besoin faire un bagay, c'est un plan. You have to do a plan. The plan you have to do, say, okay, this is what I'm going to achieve in life. So it's going to take me 15 years, 10 years. But you cannot just say stuff come from Canada, China, Europe to build in United States. It doesn't work like that. No, this is foolish. You set a plan because we didn't have that plan. We didn't have that stuff to just come to build them in United States. That's something can take 10 to 20 years to build them that. So therefore, sometimes people thinking less. You understand what I mean? They don't think straight. Right. So that's why the tariff. So China, maybe if the federal government said maybe 10 years they're going to build them here. But at the same token, you want to build the empire here, that the same token, you must prepare people for that. Because China very advanced in Mohammed. Very advanced, and you are avancé en pile dans robot. Comprenez? You are avancé en pile dans robot. Comprenez? Mais ou même qui peut préparer pour ça, son problème. Il a avancé. Et peut-être ça, we need time to win stuff like that. Anytime United States federal government going to win this stuff to build the empire here, right? You have to know where you're going to build them. You have to find place to build them. You have to see the location to build them. You have to prepare people. You cannot just win them here. What you have to do, you have to prepare them Just after find out, but you have to spend for that. You spend for education, for educate people, pour éduquer moun yo. Parce que si vous pas éduquer moun yo, pour dire moun un jeune garçon qui finit high school, c'est, can you know, I'm going to pay for you to study for something for 2 years, that technology for 2 years, for IT for 2 years, something like that to prepare them. When the job come, book ready to go. Travail là, get un monde, mais on pas gen monde, me songe, et pas moi te dit ça, I didn't say that Elon said, United States people in technology, yet they're dumb. If you want to punish, if you want to say something bad, it's not me. You say Elon. Elon said that means people in United States they're very dumb. Et lui mettait dit ça. Et peut-être ça, M. Elon commençait à prendre monde l'autre côté pour mener ici, il dit pour yo build des seed. S-E-E-D. Et seed pour build seed, son seed. Ou planter un point, you plant, you know, a bean, you're going to recall that bean later on. C'est ça, moun yo y a mené, problème non. Ou kon ça m'a dit. Plus, they're going to send somebody else back from different ways. This is that issue. But this is the plan. People do business, they want to build an empire, but they don't prepare for that. When you don't prepare, what happens? Maybe very soon you shut it down. You don't know the location, you don't know where, you don't know the policy, you don't know nothing. And did you train people for the empire you want to build? You didn't do it. That's why you said now, maybe everywhere the technology advanced, man, United States will be advanced, but when you compare in China, before bagay qui come from China, c'est au book fait yo. Babet, qui fait yo. Et yo mais qui fait l'autre bois. Yo presque pas moyen. Y a travail 24 sur 24. Ou bois travail 24. Ici, nous pouvons, peut-être nous just started. When you see Japan, I know someone come from Japan, family member. He told me, Jean-Claude, listen, if you go to China, he passed 5 years in China. He married with a Japanese lady. He said, you cannot believe the technology is so over there. He came to US because over there, you work like a dog, non-stop. You work 6 hours a week. When you get 1 day off, almost you are a dead man. Yeah. Therefore, so many people work over there. You're sweating. People get sick. People has mental issues. A lot of people over there. So that day with technology very advanced. Maybe very soon technology will be advanced too in United States, but not in China. We behind when you compare and when we compare in China, Japan, in places like that, we're very behind. But what I believe to build that stuff, to bring that job over there, to come to US in a time. It take time, it's not easy. That's something I explained that I have to repeat myself again. Okay, when you finish, you're going to build that. Okay, I explained, you know, what kind of business, the community, the personal staff, key brand, key location stuff. That's something you're going to find out again. You have to find out your vision. Key vision ganyen pour business our build là, right? Key vision. Can you have a clear vision, right? Pour build that empire, pour build business ou ganyen pour build là. Est-ce que vous clear vision? Qui va au camper? Where you stand for in that business? What you want to do for that business? What you prepare for that business? What you want to do? Kisa for what vision? How many years? What profit you want to make? How many staff you want to hire? Which qualification you want to know? Which training you have to do for those people you hire? Did you take experienced people? Did you take someone just finished college? This is good. You can take them somebody going to train them. You must have somebody to train them. Ou suppose gen moun qui pour entraîner ou. Même si moun nan ka genye li connaît ça la faire, but you must. Any job you go, even you have a 50 years experience, the job you're going to start, their employers always put somebody to train you for a couple of weeks. Because this is your first time in that company. Et première fois dans compagnie you travail, for you faire un training with you for a couple of weeks. Until maybe he's not training you, you didn't know how to do that job. No. You know what? You know exactly qui gens pour travail, qui gens pour travail la fait. But this is your first time in that company. They must train you. You know, someone has been there for a while. They're going to train you or going to become successful in that company you want to do. Et comme ça bagay la yé. Faut ou connaît qui vision, faut connaît qui ça va faire, faut connaît goal, faut connaît qui goal qu'on ou gain pour compagnie, faut connaît value dans compagnie. What strong vision? Yeah. Qui strong vision you have, qui guideline ou gain, qui décision ou gagner, qui pour impair that company. Faut connaître tout ça yo. Tu pas connaître tout ça, ça va le faire. You don't know. If you don't know, you don't stop. You want to do a business. My advice for you, you know what you want to do? Maybe you have to pay for a training. You know, someone going to train you for a couple of weeks, you pay for that. It's not free. After that, now, this is you ready, you know, to do that business. To successful in that empire you want to do. Business vous voulez faire, ça vous voulez réaliser ça. Mais si vous pas fait premier, you cannot go to, you know, you have to do number one first, you know, step one and step two. But if you jump from step one to step two, il est impossible pour réaliser. That's impossible to realize something in that business you want to build. You understand what I mean? What you have to do? If you don't know, you have to do a research. That research and plan. Research and plan, you have to understand market là. You understand the market. You understand monde qui peut l'acheter. You have to know the market. You have to know the competition. You have to create the detail for that business. You have to create a plan. You have to do an outline. You have to do a strategic financial protection to operate that plan. You have to do everything, but it's not you just want to do something. Maybe you see someone going to do a business, you're going to do a business. Right? It doesn't work like that. Even though the church, right? Even though the church, if someone, maybe an organization church going to buy a new building, it's not the pastor's job to looking for a place. No. Because we study that from the theology. Right? This is that church must have several groups in that church. One group supposed to looking for the church, right? After they see the church, another group going to approve that church. They're going to put together to approve the church. When they approve the church, the pastor no approve it. Is all of them that committee going to put together to see they accept that. But you cannot. It's not a pastor job to looking for a place, stuff like that. No. So therefore, even the church, every business, you must have organization. You must organize very well to know which group, this group do this one, that one do that, this one do everybody. When we put together, you see how that business or the church, going to buy, everything will be well. No problem. Right. But if you don't organize, Si ou pas organisé, ou pas un plan, ou pas une tragédie pour connaître qui ça peut faire, ou pas d'opération, ou pas un goal, ou pas une vision, ou regardez, ou pas une projection, ou pas une projection qui ça ou va le faire, ou à flank dans le business ça. Business n'a pas marcher vers l'avant parce que ou pas organisé. You neglect yourself. Jean pour ta faire bailler ou faire bailler mal. Et raison ça. Et puis, qui ça pour faire encore? Ou même qui va faire business, tendez toute information pour vous. Faut build un strong team. Si ou pas build un strong team, pour qu'on ait qui ça chaque monde va le faire. Avant de faire business, ou dit bon, ok, this group, that's your job. That group, that's your job. That group, that's your job. That group, that's the way, yeah, you do it. But si ou pas établir, comprendre yourself, pour qu'on ait qui talent, each group to know, each of them has a talent. Each of them should have a talent. Each of them should be motivated individually. Qui moun pour yo share. Tout the groups are ensemble pour yo share vision. It's not only one, maybe say, okay, yeah, well, I like this one. No, it doesn't work like that. Everybody give their opinion. So therefore, when you build that, the team, everybody give their opinion. When everybody give that opinion, now after that, we decide. Let me give you one example about myself. I remember when I was Arizona State University, right? So we have a project to do. Whole our students complain this is not that tough to do. They cannot do it. No time. No, they choose me to be a leader. I went to see the professor, right? I said, Professor, do you have a minute? He said, yes. I said, can I give you advice to know maybe that project will be, better than one, only one individual? He said, okay. I said, what do you think? Maybe we put 6 people together. 6 people share vision. We share opinion together. After we share the opinion together, now you're going to see, it's not only one, everybody must give opinion. When we put all their opinion together, that project will be perfect. He said, Jean-Claude, you can do it. Choose 5, 6 people together. I chose it. But it's tough. So, you need patience. You need time. Okay? Because sometimes when this group, when maybe 3 of them ready to start, another one said, oh, I'm working. Another one said, no, you don't have class. This is tough. Before we can realize that project, that something can take us maybe a month. We take almost 2.5 months to finish. But when we finish together that project, we have to discuss that. We have to, to explain that in class, to do speech, each of us. The professor said, this is that number 1. This is lovely project. Lovely. Right. So why I say that? I say that teamwork, that's very important. When we work team, you always better to work in team. Team, we share information together. Teamwork, when you give your opinion, I give my opinion, put them together, it will be perfect, no problem. Right, no problem. So that's why I said you have to build a strong team for the time. Songez bien, des talents, tout le monde capable de talent for motivated individually, to share vision, to delegate the logo, because that business you have and to build, it should be a logo in it. right? It should be a logo, right? To see when that logo, without vision, how that business could to build, it will be a problem, right? Yeah, it will be a problem. Yeah. So therefore, you need hold that information. Again, you have to focus. You have to focus on quality, right? Focus on quality. Whether the product you're going to sell, the produit you're going to vendre, dans le service là, est-ce que les prioritize, est-ce que pour gagner, est-ce que gagne une bonne qualité et pas bagay junk pour vendre parce que you don't want you didn't have vision, you didn't have goal to sell a used stuff. That is, brand new stuff, you must have quality. Open quality, plus the customer should be, when they purchase something, he should certify from that. Yes, certified can become repeat. Customer can invite someone, friend, to come. That the way business build. When you sell good stuff, almost you don't want to do advertising. People tell about you that the way. When somebody have a business with someone, when that service is at good, I don't call you again. I don't give you business again. I don't tell someone, even though someone tell me, oh, can you tell me which place I can go? Because I have a bad service. I cannot recommend someone, that service. Because I have bad one, I cannot recommend you to go in that place. So therefore, customer should certify. It should be a good customer service. Phone call, email, right? Because when you do business, they're going to do a survey, right? If your survey is bad, listen, the survey there, consumer give you a bad survey. When people want to check your business, they say bad survey, they say, oh, no. No. I cannot go that place. Therefore, you have to do to make sure you have good customer service. The product you want to bagay wapel vanyo, ou bay sa yo bon. Si bagay yo pas bon, lem di sa ou pas gen en pile monde, yo pral a terrible survey, en pile moun apre te we. They say, oh no, let me stay away from that guy. Let me stay away from that business. That business is good. He get bad survey. He doesn't treat customer good. Et peut-être ça, faut nous prendre pile précaution. Faut capable flexible pour adapter. Faut capable make a change dans the market là. In the market, you have to make a change. I don't know what kind of change you want to make. Maybe the price, if the price too expensive, you have to change it. If the price too low, you have to change it. Hey, listen, people, don't make a business, don't build your empire. Or when you be the employee, you want to make fortune. No, as soon you got the profit, in it, this is cool. Pas bat pour riche, même la Bible dit ça. Mais when la Bible dit ça, right? Et peut-être ça, conseil ma baroua. Conseil ma baroua, même si, David dit ça, c'est un conseil. Where David said, dans Proverbe, ou même Proverbe 1 verse 8, même qui Bible. Même si even though we don't preach the gospel, but we have to give you some, the advice I give you about 2 billion empire, but I'm going to tell you exactly what Solomon said. Solomon said, écoute mon fils, li di instruction mbawa, sa papa mbawa, piga ou rechtel. De l'enseignement, maman mbawa, papa mbawa, pa rechtel. Ça veut dire, et Solomon said that, Proverbs 1 verse 8. Don't reject, don't reject the information. Don't reject, the information and I give you. If you want to build your empire, right? Don't reject your dad and enseignement, papa ou maman pas reject it. So reject it, you're going to, you will be a pain for you. Maybe it can be a wisdom for you, but pain, this is tough. Pain, they will create because you didn't listen to someone. You didn't listen to advice I give you. That's why it become a issue for you. You understand what I mean? So probably you have to build a relationship with customer. Build a relationship, and this is we live in 21st century, right? Now 21st century we live because I remember Bill Gates said, and he said that maybe 10 years ago, he said, any business you have, if you don't put that business online, that means you will be a dead, that business will be a dead. Everything now that online, everything you want to check, any business, you just go to Google, you get that business name you want. Probably build a relationship, network for that business, influence, influence, customer strong relationship can lead them the experience. When you get a good customer service avec consumer, avec moun kapache yo, pou e koman moun yo gen bon, they have a good experience about your business. Now you see how your business is going to grow. Right? But at the same token, if you don't build them with customer, right? They have a wrong experience about customer. How you believe, how you assume, and your business is going to grow. Business n'a pas qu'à grandir parce que vous n'avez pas une bonne relation avec mon capacité, avec consommateur, qui est nous-mêmes capacités. Nous-mêmes capacités. Et peut-être ça, faut faire everything you can pour gagner une bonne relation avec, pour mon capacité, pour gagner une bonne expérience tout, non, mais on y a pas acheté. Très important. Market effectively. Market effectively, il est capable de développer une market j'ai dit, on prend, pour qu'on ait, on prend point Claude, pour qu'on ait social media très important. Si on business, si on pas social media in it, you dead. Pour gagner un content market, faut gagner advertising, for public, on prend, non, faut gagner un stock market, for public relation. To create pour créer comme si pour faire bagaille pour créer monde qui vient acheter. Therefore, social media, if you put it in TikTok, you put it in Facebook, you put it in YouTube, you put it everywhere. And when you build a website, and even though I don't live in Arizona, I remember when I live in Arizona, I built a website for a small business I had. Until now, Arizonian people drive me crazy, call me all the time, even though I have a new website in Georgia. But people drive me crazy, call me. But I send some of them to my, people I know, but it doesn't work for them. So therefore, I said, wow. I have to be honest. I said, but I cannot do it because I don't have, even though my license is not, it will be finished in November, but I cannot use it. If I use it, that's illegal. But I said, yeah, if in Georgia, I'm certified in Georgia, I can do it in Georgia, but I cannot do it in Arizona. Yeah. Et comme ça, ou fait bien, bien un pile monde qui put themselves in trouble because you know why? Because they don't respect, they don't obey law. They do everything you want. When you don't obey the law, you do anything you want. You believe you can achieve what you want to achieve. You will be flat. You cannot do it because we must obey the law. Even though the Bible said, et pour nous respecter l'autorité, et pour nous obéir loi. Loi yo dit pour nous faire et pour nous obéir. Nous pas que loi dit non, on prend aller camper, aller dans devant machine non. On prend juste aller dans machine. Non, loi a pas dit nous ça. Mais il dit non, on prend un exemple. Stop in the yellow. Donc cross it. If you cross it, somebody hit you, you know that's you because they said you have to stop in the yellow. If you say, oh, well, I can beat it, maybe I have time to pass. The accident happened, you pay a price, you pay consequences because what the law tell you, what the traffic law tell you to do, you violate. You violate. If you stop in yellow, somebody hit you behind you, but it's not you. When you hit somebody, behind you in your back, that is fault because you want to obey the law. This is the way. Someone, even anyone, when you don't obey the law, you believe you can do anything you want. Nobody cannot stop you. Maybe you hold that. You will become, you look like you idiot. Yeah, because they think, oh, why I obey the law? This one refuse to obey the law. No, you look like dumb. You look like idiot. Some people said, no respect for that individual because you refuse to follow the law. You refuse what law tell you to do to follow. That's a problem. Et qu'on s'abagaille, que nous follow the law pour comment. Et law fin fait tout bagay sa yo. Vous pouvez faire evaluation. Évaluer. Et pas seulement evaluation, on va faire evaluation et puis on va faire adjust. On va adjust. Et qui j'en appelle, régulièrement, chaque jour, on va faire un assess pour progrès qui fait. Progrès qui fait, moun qui employé, moun qui travaille avec eux, moun qui performance. Est-ce que yo fait, yo travail, gens yo supposé travail? Est-ce que yo don full around? Est-ce que un projet yo supposé remettre des top dog, des managers? Est-ce que you keep doing that? If you want the project to attend that project for 15 days, est-ce que you attend that project on time? The performance to see the staff the staff working for you. And you open feedback, to willing to make a change, for that company, to make that company go. Est-ce que c'est ça ou fait? Est-ce que c'est ça? Open. If pour dire, maybe you put someone, to control that company, maybe that the mean person. No, you put someone free, give free, and staff employees can give a feedback. They said, oh, what need to be changed? Did you meet with them? Did you discuss with them? Did you, maybe you just follow, maybe you give your opinion. You're free to give the opinion. Not maybe you become, no, you cannot talk. Did you pass by? Did you say hello to them? Did you friendly to them? Be respectful. You respect the law. On respect the law. Est-ce que vous connaissez son femme qui travaille? Est-ce que vous respectez jeune lady, the young lady working with you? You be respectful. Make sure you have to know moun nan et travail, il vient travailler avec. Mais et pas en question pour qu'on ait, you looking for someone, maybe to do an affair with them. No, you have to be respectful. Et ça, ouais, et moun yo comment travail la marché comme ça. Les moun yo qui travaillent, les respecter l'autre, ouais, comment bagay a changé. Mais si vous n'avez pas respect pour l'autre, vous n'avez pas respect pour l'employé, vous ne pouvez pas parler avec vous. You cannot give your opinion. What needs to be changed? Give it when your opinion. You believe maybe something basic needs to be changed. You have to be open with them. Si vous faites ça, vous pouvez comment travailler le marché. Comment you build the empire. The empire will be good. But if you don't do that, the empire you plan to do, it will be a disaster. It won't be a good. But I don't believe, Pastor Carlos, here, I know a lot of people in that radio, a lot of people want to give, even on the Facebook, in the YouTube, but I have a radio in Arizona. you call that radio unity. People always, listen to it. I learned that every other Sunday. Like next Sunday, I won't be there. The following Sunday, I will be there. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know, Pastor Carlos. I don't believe he's present tonight because I thought they get some events in Arizona today, but therefore I don't believe they be able to, to ask any question. So I explain you everything. Yeah. When you have to finish, when you build everything I explain you, yeah. So what you have to do, you're not done yet. What you have to do, you have to remember to build the empire. To build the empire take time pour faire dedication and resilient, to stay focused on your vision, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to learn from the failure. Look, sometimes when people do something, they didn't win. For example, if you run for office, maybe your partner beat you up, you didn't win. It's not a failure. Et pour un bagage qui mal lié. Ou build un business n'a pas marché, ou close, et pas un failure lié. Et pour un bagage qui mal. But what you can do in that society, you can say, well, I built that. I went for that office. I went for governor. I went for council. I went for senate. I went for Congress. I didn't win. You can say, I tried. This is better you try something than you just stay neutral. Some people say, no, I know I cannot make it. But did you try? Est-ce que essayer? You have to try it first, then you see if you can win or not. Et comme ça la vie aille. Essayer un bagay. Si on sait un bagay ou pas passé, tout le monde a dit, well, this guy, il fait un bagay, il pas passé, that's okay. That's okay, next time. Même genre avec Nixon à Kennedy. When they both of them run for presidential, right? And Kennedy beat him. But you know what Nixon said? Nixon said, okay, I will be back. Et puis, les retourner, il presque gagne 8 ans, right? So that the way life, right? Et peut-être ça, I'm going to do explain you again. When you finish the empire, when you finish, songez, remember when I said the empire, this is the context I use, but that business you want to build. You have to take time to do dedication. You have to be resilient. Stay focused. Your vision. Don't be afraid. Pas peur. Pas peur. Learn encore. Learn from your failure. Et pour apprendre qui sortait fait pas bon. So far pas bon, de pour connaître ça pas bon, the next time you're going to do better. You're going to change it. But si ou pas veut connaître son failure, ou pas veut changer, et qu'on ça va prêter, pas bien solution pour même business là, the empire you plan to build will be dead. That's the same thing. Even though the government that try to build an empire, say they échoué. You're moving up now because they didn't have a plan, they didn't have dedication, they didn't focus, they didn't have vision, they didn't have plan. That's why. That's why. He said, to be specific, which business you going to explore to do? Qui ça ou voulez faire? Si vous pas connaissez qui ça ou voulez faire exactement, your empire will be destroyed. You cannot make it. Yeah. If you want to make it, you have to do something better. Something better. Any business, if I explain you every business you want to do, if you follow my advice, you will be successful, right? But if you just want to do it, I don't think so. You will be okay. Yeah, you're going to destroy yourself. You understand what I mean? So, people, listen. I already speak almost for 50 minutes. Bon Dieu capable d'aider. Mais si par exemple, ou aimer, right? Si vous aimez information, you know, I didn't ask you for money. I do research and stuff like that, you know. So I take my time to help you out. But what you have to do, you have to subscribe, right? In my YouTube, my channel YouTube. Subscribe, like it, share. Ou même qui a haïtien qui attendez, abonnez, remen, partagez. See who subscribe with me. You know what happened? The next time when I bring the new video, right? When I bring a new one, you're going to see. But if you don't subscribe, when I already have so many video, so many good stuff you can learn in that life. But you don't subscribe, you don't know yet. So just go Asian Public Minister at Jean-Claude Dash, Jean-Claude registered 6801. If you watch TV and you go to YouTube, when you see Asian Public Minister, this is a servitor Jean-Claude. This is myself, Jean-Claude. Help me out to build, my empire. And that information I provide you, you're going to build your own business, your own empire. Help me out. Let nous travailler ensemble. Subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. Chaque fois une vidéo qui tombe, mais si vous pas subscribe, vous pas joindre. Que bon Dieu aide. Ouais, et ça m'appelle, on prend, c'est gospel. You know, gospel of God. Yeah, bon, chanter ou attendre. Et pas vieux chanter by les mondes. And, and this is the word of God. This is that song you're going to hear. And nous travaillons ensemble. Let me work together. Et si vous avez une question, n'importe une question, my phone number, même qui Arizona, I know you know my phone number in Arizona. Yeah, I don't mind to give you my phone number. My phone number 480-202-2774 et 480-227-74. Si vous connaissez où est son bagage qui a aidé, moi je voulais dire passer bon après-midi, dimanche après-midi, que bon Dieu toujours aidé dans tout ça va entreprendre. Information ba yo, on connaît si ou kembe yo, si vous gagnez Facebook, dans Facebook, n'importe quoi oublié, checkez dans Facebook, là forever. Et dans YouTube, là forever. Vous avez qu'à pour les wabil, your empire, et pas seulement, on comprend, Pastor Jean-Claude going to give you a fish. He show you how to catch a fish to help yourself. Que bon Dieu bénisse tout le monde. Passez bon après-midi. À bientôt. May God bless you all, my brother and sister. Bye-bye. Si vous avez une question, call me in my phone I gave you. OK? Ou bien, si vous avez une question, tout, check dans, ou pas check dans, text me, ou bien check dans email. jceregistré@gmail.com jceregistré@gmail.com et m'a répondre question gain à nous travailler ensemble que bon Dieu bénisse. Bye bye.